Welcome to Still Talking Uncut. I'm your host, Big Easy, joined by a full panel tonight. Co-host Sean Rigsby, Uncle Joey, and Mr. Quiet Matt Lemasters down in the bottom. Special guest tonight, singer-songwriter, headliner of the Far in the Bottle Festival coming in at you at the end of August, Miss Mary Kutter. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you joining us. And we got Dan Gray, the founder of Far in the Bottle down in the corner. He's going to talk a little bit of stuff, and we're going to kick him out of here because we really don't care about listening to Dan. He'll be on here enough. I'm sure we'll see him 4 or 5 more times between now and the end of August. So, but anyways, welcome to the show. Hope you all tuned in on Friday to listen to Mr. Alan Bishop talk. It was a good one. I don't do Friday nights. Welcome to the show, man. We appreciate y'all joining us. So we're gearing up for Far in the Bottle, man. What are we, about 6-7 weeks away, I would say. So if you're going to be in the Wilmington area at the end of August 27th, we're going to be at the Clinton County Fairgrounds in Wilmington, Ohio, man, at the Far in the Bottle Festival. A lot of us aren't going down to the Hillbilly Jam, but we're going to be at the Far in the Bottle Festival. So you guys going to come on out there. It's going to be a great time, just like it always is. And you get to hear Mary sing. That's a deal. You get to hang out with us and you get to listen to her sing. As long as you ain't got to listen to Sean sing, you'll be all right.
What can I say?
All right, Dan, you got some updates about Far in the Bottle you want to lead us into before you got to get out of here?
Yeah, I can do that. So a few different changes have come up in the recent past. I mean, one of them I probably talked about a little bit. I floated the idea of having a pre-party, so we got that worked out. It'll be on Sugar Tree Street over in town. Part of it will take place at the Escape. Part of it will take place at the Tin Cap. At the Tin Cap. Yeah, that's on a third. Yeah, it'd be a Thursday night.
The Thursday night before the official thing. So if you're going to be at the campgrounds or in the area on that Thursday, there'll be details where you guys can come to the pre-party. I heard Dan's buying everybody shots.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's kind of like basically an event to try and get some people who may not normally be interested in the moonshine stuff, get them interested in it. You wouldn't believe less people in Wilmington know about this festival than like everybody else in the country. It's kind of weird. But I have tons of people. I did a bourbon walk thing up there about a month ago, and people came past and it was like, "What's the Farm to Bottle Festival?" I said, "Well, we've had it here for 4 years now at the fairgrounds." It's like, "Well, I never even heard of it." And I'm like, 90% of the advertisement I do is in Wilmington, but for some reason they ain't hearing me. So it's like, all right. So everybody got a flyer in their hand, and I thought, you know what? The entertainment in Wilmington takes place on Sugar Tree Street. That's where we do all the summer concert series. That's where Rock the Block takes place at. So I thought, I'm going to do a pre-party on Thursday night. I'll have a band over at the Escape. We'll do some moonshine trivia, do some small-scale tastings, and we'll have some people from some of the moonshiners and master distillers do some meet and greet that night. And we'll find some other cool festivities to take place as well. But it's more so just to introduce the whole moonshining thing to a crowd of people that might not necessarily come there. But, they come to the entertainment district in Wilmington all the time. So it just seemed like a really good place for me to get info out about stuff that's going on Friday and Saturday with, not a whole lot of extra cost to it. So that's kind of what the Thursday night's about. And we may even be able to, I still got to work on this. I know for future events, I'm going to work out some transportation, but I might even try and get us somebody to run a shuttle back and forth for a few hours if I can swing it to where, if somebody's been drinking too much and they don't want to drive back out to the campgrounds, then we'll have a ride for them. So I don't want nobody getting no DUIs or nothing. But good time downtown Wilmington. So that's that about the pre-party. So we did do a big change to the pricing schedule for the Farm to Bottle itself. Originally, it was going to be $15 or $20 on Saturday night, and I think 10 on Friday. We've managed to get it down to where Friday night is free, doesn't cost anything, so nobody has to pay for the festival on Friday. And on Saturday night, we've lowered that down to just $5. So,
and what night is Mary singing?
29th. That'd be the Saturday night.
All right.
We're selling
That's-
Mary for $5 a person.
Well, that's when everybody's gonna show up anyway to see her.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Wait.
a hell of a deal, man.
You're already gonna be there partying, with everybody else. So
Yeah.
that's dude, you can't beat that.
I would rather have more eyes there being able to catch her show than somebody be maybe not wanting to come because of the price, or it wasn't something they felt like they could afford to do, or whatever else. So, if optimally, if I could get it to where it was free, we'd do that, but we ain't quite there yet. So this year it'd be $5 for that on Saturday night, free on Friday night, and I think that'll be a good time. I think it'll be good for people, and hopefully we can get 5 times the number of people there by making it so cheap.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, Dan. I just saw Mary's tour schedule, and she's going to be around Ohio, I think, before Farm to Bottle Festival. So that'll give people a taste of her. And for that cheap of a price, maybe you'll get, maybe people want to come see Mary again. So
Absolutely.
I agree, Sugar.
Yeah. You're actually going to be in our hometown on Monday at the Clark County Fair.
Oh,
Yep.
no way. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped for it. Well, this is the thing. And, you put the nail on the head. Sometimes, getting to visit a spot, it's just like anything else, maybe folks at, maybe the Clark County Fair, they, haven't heard the music yet, but they're like, ooh, and she's coming back. But, this time it's the Farm to Bottle. What? And so, I am really excited. It's going to be so much fun, y'all.
Oh, hell yeah.
If you like moonshine, you're gonna love Farm to Bottle.
Ohio knows what's up.
Yeah, we go hard. Everybody
She likes
shows up.
moonshine and AC/DC. That's the 2 things she likes.
They're not wrong. It's a good combo. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you hear
Gonna be-
this song, this
it's gonna be
morning
a
I was
good time.
running, and there was a person I went past that was wearing an AC/DC shirt. I was like, that person right there is a good person. Just like whenever someone drinks moonshine or makes it, they're a good person. They got something going on,
Actually, I think it's bourbon that you like, ain't it? You're a bourbon girl.
Yeah, born and raised in Kentucky. But honestly though, it's kind of like if you like Italian food, maybe you like the red sauce on your pasta, but maybe you like Alfredo sauce. You know what I'm saying? If you like pasta, you like pasta. I kind of feel like a similar situation with moonshine and bourbon. They're obviously different. They're different, but there's a lot of, to me, there's similarities.
You have to have one to have the other. Well,
Yeah.
Can't have
that's
one without
similar
the
to
other.
That is
Hand
true.
in hand.
That is true.
Well, what else you got, Dan? Anything other big you want to talk about?
Yeah, he's backing up currently.
Yeah, backing up. You can hear that, can't you?
Hey, ladies, Dan's
Put it in reverse,
forklift
Derek.
certified, so take a number and get in line.
Yeah.
Single and forklift certified, so
I'm something.
Dan's got it all.
I'm ambulance certified right now.
See,
Today, tomorrow I'll be equestrian center certified. I'll be working with the horses tomorrow. That's pretty much how my week. That's how my week goes. Ambulance some days, horse park other days, and take 1 day a week to work on stuff at the house. But I really don't take any days off unless I got a festival or a concert or something I'm doing. So
Wow.
Hell
You
yeah.
have passion, baby. I respect it.
now in the winter, that's a different story. I don't do near as much in the winter. I try and take some time off and sit around and maybe even watch some TV. I don't hardly ever watch TV.
Hey, look who's tuned in, fellas. Old Chris Luke.
Hey, Chris.
So we'll tell you a little bit about this. So Dan, Farm to Bottle Festival is a big, it's always got Still Talking's heart, but we're also trying to help out another event that's the same day. It's a 10-man event up in Milford Center, Ohio. We met a guy named Chris Luke, and he's a good dude. He puts a benefit run on up there. And
nice.
some of us are. I know mine. I'm going to stop up there in the morning, and then I'm going to head to Farm to Bottle later in the day. But they're doing a real cool event up there. But I appreciate Chris tuning in tonight.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we're all sending things for them to auction off to donate the money.
Yeah.
When I was out at Hatfields in West Virginia, I picked up a bottle of his 10-year bourbon that he let me pull out of the. So I'm going to donate that to them. Also,
wow.
Did you happen to pick up Uncle Joey one?
hell no, I didn't pick up Uncle Joey one. Uncle Joey don't pay you for his bottles. My son bitch wants something. He go get himself.
Good thing we're only about what 3 hours away.
Yeah,
Right,
you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Hey, he could have rode. I offered. That's 2 times in a row I offered for him to go, and he didn't. That's his own fault.
Well, I'll
Hey,
make
and
it there one time. I'll make it down.
There's one thing I did want to throw out about the festival. So some people had bought advance tickets, and just in case somebody's listening that hadn't read their email yet, anybody that bought an advance ticket that paid the higher price for it, I've emailed every one of them an offer of either some money back or a VIP slash T-shirt package or something like that. But anybody
Or-
that bought something in advance, we're going to take care of them one way or the other.
Or if you would like, Dan will autograph a special copy of an album that he just produced. All his songs on an album.
I could do
That's
that too.
exciting.
Hey Mary, I got one for you too.
I can't wait to hear it. We'll have it on the ride, because we're going to be doing a bunch of back-to-back shows, the whole band and us. We'll all listen to it after the show.
Well,
Him
sweet.
and
That sounds
Bartolozzi.
There's several of the people in the moonshine community that's been making these songs and stuff. Jason Bartolozzi, he got a bunch of them too. I know some others do as well. Can't remember everybody, but you'll probably get to hear a lot of it that day over the we're gonna have a DJ during the daytime just playing music, and some of that'll probably be playing on there. So
You
Oh,
know,
I can't wait. That's so
Bartle-
awesome. Isn't it interesting how it seems like a lot of folks in the moonshining community, they're musical as well. And I guess, if you're making moonshine, there's something, creative that goes into that, just like, creating music. It's really interesting.
yeah, I'm
There's a lot
surprised
of time to
Bartolozzi.
kill.
I'm surprised
lot of-
Bartolozzi has time to make music between, running liquor, washing dishes, and making music.
exactly.
Get him, Bartolozzi.
Oh man,
Make sure you cut that out and send it to him, Sean. That's a good one.
the Lord's work, my man. We do.
Yeah,
the
that's
Lord's work
a
here.
perfect little clip you can edit out of this. Send that right to him. Tell him Dan said his music sucks anyway. So
There you go. So
We're gonna have fun with this one.
I
at
mean,
Four in the Bottle, Dan and Bartolozzi should have like a song AI off. You know what I'm saying?
know,
Like,
There you go.
they should have an AI battle song.
we've been
up on
secretly
stage.
working on that. As a matter of fact, what we did is I challenged him to that a while back. I said, we'll play some of our songs, but I said, I'm going to make a song about how bad the Steelers suck. And I said, you can make one about how bad the Bengals suck, and we'll see who likes the suckiest song.
But he's in the wrong. I would say he's in the wrong state, but you never know around here. But
Right?
all right, Dan, get back to work, man. We're on to our main guest.
You go ahead and go with her. I'm going to hang out for a little bit. I'll turn my microphone off so you don't get all this background noise.
Nah, you're all good.
All
It was
right.
a
When I
pleasure,
can-
Dan.
When
I'm
I got to
sure
hop off, I'll hop off.
we'll see you again before the actual
I'm
festival.
sure you
stuff.
will. Sounds like a plan.
All right, you're up, Uncle Joey.
Well, I appreciate Mary coming on. I know I've reached out to her, and I was talking with Dan, and he said he could coordinate it and get it on here. So I do appreciate you coming on, Mary. You've been busy. You're all over. Listen, between social media, touring, and making music, you seem like you're a busy woman right now.
Well, I'm trying to stay busy. Better than the other way around. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And you
Absolutely.
definitely go the other way. And, I've just been having a blast. It's been so crazy. I was telling, that little live I was on right before, we hopped on together. I feel like music's been taking me places that I've never, that I've really just only dreamed of going to. Like last month, I was in 7 different states. Most of them I'd never been to before. And just that's kind of been the headline of this past year. I feel like it's really been cool.
So is
So-
your tour actually started now, or when does it actually start?
It feels like we've kind of been just moving and grooving since, I guess, April. Last month we were all over the place. Now, this weekend, I'm out on the road with Hank Jr. again. And, it just seems kind of crazy to be back, open and form again. But we're up in Michigan this weekend. And then, it just kind of becomes the mad dash to Farm to Bottle, festival. We're in a handful of places. We're, of course, in your neck of the woods in Springfield, Ohio.
Yeah.
And we're back in Wisconsin and then Illinois. And then it's right about time for the Farm to Bottle. And then, it's really exciting. It's kind of like, the water faucet, we just turned it on, and I don't think it's turning off anytime soon,
So
Yeah.
you said you were opening up for Hank Jr. Is that what you just said?
Isn't
So
that cool?
how's that experience like? How's that been so far?
It's been so cool. It's pretty crazy. We're just shy of a year. Last August, uh, I opened for him at Sturgis, in the back rally out in Dakota, and it was so cool. It was the biggest show I had ever played up to that point. There's 14,000 people up in the front, another 4 or 5 in the back. It was completely sold out. And I had a blast. You just dream. I mean, I feel like Hank Jr. He is country music. You know what I'm saying? And he's just like on the Mount Rushmore, I feel like, of country icons. And I figured that was just going to be something to put in my brain and think about on a rainy day right after that. But about a month later, his team called me up again and asked if we'd open for him again in Oklahoma. And of course, we said yes. And then I found out just about 2 days before, I looked up where we were actually playing, and it was my first arena show we had ever done. And that was so cool. And I mean, I just feel great. He's just given me opportunities that, an artist just dreams of. And both times I've seen him play, it's really interesting. A lot of times artists will have like the same show that they do every night, and that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. But the two shows that I have seen him play, they were completely different shows. Of course, he played some of his biggest hits, both shows, but he is just a virtuoso, with all these different instruments. He just picks up everything and starts playing it, and he's just a true rock star. And then this weekend, I want to say they're maybe one of them's an amphitheater or both of them's an amphitheater. I've never done an amphitheater before, so I'm really excited. It's going to be so much fun, and I feel like his audiences, they're very kind people. Oh, and someone just popped up. Oh, y'all just popped up. Thank you. Y'all are much more organized than I am. I really respect it.
I think you're gonna be pretty impressed. Pine Knob is a badass place to play. So
I've heard it's awesome. Everyone talks
yeah.
about Pine Knob. What is what is it about Pine Knob?
If I'm not mistaken, it's up on the side of a hill. It's like up on a mountain. I think it's
Cool.
I think it's a really cool amphitheater. So I think you'll really enjoy that experience. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. Well, I feel really grateful. And I feel like Hank Jr. is one of those people that if he's not into what you're doing, you're never going to be doing it again, opening a forum. You know what I'm saying? And that's for better or for worse. But I mean, it's really cool that this, I was thinking about that earlier. I mean, that's crazy. This is my third and fourth time I'm getting to open for him. So it's really going to be cool. So that's this weekend. And, I've never been to Michigan before. And I'm really excited to go up there too. I've heard it's beautiful this time of the year.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
So
when you look back on your career, what moment did you realize that it was more than just something that it was a passion, that was something that you were meant to do?
That's a great question.
Sounds like you wrote that one down.
I feel like there were little moments, along the way that, it's kind of like when you're cooking and you start smelling, the food in the oven. You're like, ooh, it's smelling good. It's not smelling bad. And then you're looking and checking in the oven. You're like, okay, the pie's, still rising and all that stuff, And, whenever I moved to Nashville, I got my start in town writing songs for other artists to sing. That's how I was making my bread and butter. And, there was a couple of times where, like I remember the first time I ever had a song I wrote that was played at the Ramen. And that was a really special night. I remember thinking, this feels kind of real. You know what I'm saying? Not as a pipe dream. And, then, like the first song that I wrote that, hit the top 20 charts and stuff like that, and that was on the writing end. But then when it came to singing my own songs, to answer your question, I wrote this song about my great granddaddy, who was a bootlegger. And I think that's kind of how we all got connected, was probably through that song. And,
Yep.
I grew up hearing stories about my great granddaddy, and it always, just seemed like the coolest story to me. What a legacy. Like years later, I mean, that church is still standing. Our family's still so proud to, come from him, and anyway, I wrote a song about him, and I posted a little snippet of it online. And I remember the next morning, whenever I woke up and, I saw what it was doing on there, I remember being blown away looking at the comments. All these different people that was like, oh, my grandpa was a moonshiner too. And, and my great uncle, ran liquor down in Georgia or wherever. There's all these comments all over the place. I was like, whoa, that's really cool to write a song that, connects with people. And, once again, that was kind of that little tug at the heartstring where it felt like, maybe it wasn't so crazy of a dream, and maybe, there was something there.
Oh, that's awesome right there. And so if you'd like to talk a little bit about your grandfather, was it your great grandfather?
And my great grandfather, yep. And so it was on my mama's side. Now my daddy's side, they all came from Germany. Literally down to the last person to come over on the boat was after World War II. So, it really, was a whole situation. But anyway, my mama's side of the family, man, I'll tell you what, his name was Henry Offutt. And he really had a crazy background. So he was an orphan by the time he was 2 years old. And he was just shuffled amongst different family members growing up, to raise him. And it's kind of wild. After he grew up, he went out west looking for gold. And it turns out, his gold, his treasure was going to be in Kentucky, running bourbon. And anyway, he got into the, bootlegging business, and he had a whole bunch of kids. My grandpa was number 9 of 10 children. And so it really spanned out. He was staying very busy. And I think it was a whole family operation. I mean, all the kiddos were helping, even when they were little. But anyway, although obviously, there was a lot of layers to that, in that time, Prohibition was going on. He was a really religious man, and he helped build a church in central Kentucky, right outside of Bardstown. And that church is still standing. And but he was no Boy Scout. He had a run-in with Al Capone before he died. He obviously was, at that time that was pretty outlaw what he was doing. But people tended to, it seems like they turned the other way. They ignored it because of all the things he was doing for the community. But he ended up building a fortune through the 20s. But then whenever the stock market crashed, he lost everything, like literally everything. And just like a lot of people did. But and he died the following year. And everyone, I always grew up hearing he died from a broken heart.
It happens.
Yeah. I mean, you think about just the extremities of all that, but it is really interesting. Like, little did he know, what he was just, obviously it seems like, looking back on, just hearing about how he really pulled himself up by his bootstraps, because you think about back then, I mean, to be an orphan now would be horrible, obviously, but growing up back then, it's a different landscape in, rural
Right.
Kentucky. He really wanted to make something of himself, and you think about going out west looking for gold. That was a far out thing back then. You know what I'm saying? So he obviously really wanted to make something of his life, and he ended up doing that. I hope that, he is looking down and is proud, that church is still standing, that, his great granddaughter wrote a song about him. I hope he's proud of it. I hope he's not looking down being like, stop singing that. I hope he likes it. Anyway.
So where are you from in Eastern Kentucky?
Well, I'm from right in the middle of the state, and so it's where all the bourbon is. I mean, you throw a rock and you're going to hit a distillery. Just about every distillery you've heard of is within like 60 minutes of, my hometown. I grew up right outside of Bardstown in a little tiny town called Springfield. And of course, there's Springfield, Kentucky, there's Springfield, Ohio, there's Springfield, Tennessee, all the Springfields.
Illinois, yep.
Yep, Missouri, And anyway, but that's where I grew up. It's literally where all the horses are and where the bourbon's at. It's beautiful.
So what exactly got you started in music? I mean, did you grow up picking a guitar? How did that come along?
it is kind of a crazy story. So, I flipped my phone over, so the folks probably don't see the keyboard that I'm sitting by now. But whenever I was a little girl, my mama, she thought it would be real good for my brother and me. I have one older brother. She thought it would be good for us to learn how to play the piano. She thought it was, what civilized people, little ladies and little boys need to do. They need to learn how to play the piano. So she signed us up to take weekly piano lessons. And anyway, so once a week, my big brother and me, we would go to Miss Janine's house. He would do a 30-minute lesson, and I would do a 30-minute lesson. Okay, this story's coming around in a second, I promise. Okay, so while he would be doing his lesson, Miss Janine had a whole bunch of kitty cats. And I would play with the cats while, he was doing his lesson. And there came a time where one of the cats had a litter of kittens, and apparently I was singing to the kitty cats, and I was little. I was about 6 years old, and Miss Janine, she heard me singing, and she said, "Mary Catherine, you have a voice." And she said, come over here. And she starts playing this song. I don't know if y'all know it or not. It's this old standard. A whole bunch of people have recorded it. It's called Moon River. And anyway, she starts playing this, and she teaches me how to sing that song. Of course, I'm a little girl, and we didn't tell my parents about it or nothing. But each week, I do my piano lessons, and then we just sing through that song, And that spring at the piano recital, I got up there and we surprised my parents by singing. They didn't even know I could sing. And so that was the first time I'd ever sung in front of anybody. But I really had a pretty normal childhood. I mean, my folks, man, if the church doors were open, I was in there. I was really active in 4-H. I was the county president in high school. And, so I say all that, I was in marching band. I did all that stuff. I wasn't performing, as a, teenager. Like you hear a lot of that, down here in Nashville. And I don't think I even realized how common that was. A whole bunch of people that I meet down here, their parents had them in music schools from the time they were little kids. They were, of course, I had taken piano lessons, but it wasn't like, like a prep school with music and all that. People performing, on the weekends. I had a very normal childhood, but, I started singing at fairs and festivals after I graduated. It was just like anything else where, you sing at one thing, then someone's, hosting a festival and they ask you to play at that, and you play at that, then, you sing at somebody's church and that kind of thing. It just kind of grows that way. But the way I got to Nashville, it was kind of a happenstance situation. I was singing at an event, and there was this feller who owned a couple radio stations in the area who we met backstage at something I was singing at. And very long story short, he wanted to have a live music variety show. And he reached out to me and he asked me if I would host it. And I have no experience hosting anything. I have mad respect for what y'all do, because there's a lot of pieces that go into hosting a podcast, and that wasn't even what I was doing. I was just doing a weekly variety show where I interview people and they play songs. But y'all have so many different, even just like blocking off the time, thinking about what you're going to talk about, inviting guests. There's a lot of pieces that go into that. But anyway, I started hosting this music variety show, and I was in Central Kentucky in Bardstown, right outside of Louisville. And I started writing with a couple of the folks that had come on the show. And that is how I came down to Nashville. I started being in Nashville all the time. And, you write with Billy Bob, you start writing with Sally, then Sally says you need to write with Becky, then so on. And before I knew it, I was down here all the time. So that's how I got to Nashville. But it all kind of started from the kitty cats.
So, for people coming to the Farm to Bottle Festival, what can they expect from a Mary Kutter show? What's your favorite song to perform?
Oh my gosh. Well, that's hard. I will say, part one of your question, something to expect would be honestly a rock show with country music. That's the simplest way to put it. Me and the boys up on stage, we really rock out. I mean, you see this hair, I'm doing hair flips. I'm laying down on the ground. I'm playing the guitar, I'm playing the keyboard. We're just burning it up. I run all across the stage. It's really fun. And song-wise, man, I'll tell you what. There are certain songs that it's real special whenever you're singing something that you wrote, and you never know if people are going to respond to what you write. But a song that's really become one of my favorites to play is "The Devil Wore a Lab Coat," which is about the opioid crisis. And that was one of those songs, man, y'all. I'll tell you what, I wanted to write that song for months. I had that idea, in my brain, but I'd go into writing rooms and I'd tell my co-writers, my idea, and they'd be like, a song about big pharma. What else you got? And anyway, and if you haven't heard, you'll have to look it up or whatever. But it basically, I mean, gosh, I wrote it from what I'd seen in my own hometown in Kentucky. What happened, but it turns out happened everywhere.
Well,
I didn't realize that.
Ohio was a very, very, very hard hit state with that opioid epidemic as well. I don't know the numbers right offhand, but it was huge. It was a very, very bad crisis we had as well. So I imagine when you play in Ohio, you're going to get a lot of fans that song will touch a special place. That's for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's something kind of crazy happened a couple weeks ago. I was in the green room. We were about ready to play a show. And this lady comes up. She comes into the green room. I didn't know who she was, but she had a guitar. And she comes in here. She sits down next to me. And I'm thinking, oh, she wants me to sign her guitar. If people bring stuff you sign or whatever. So I'm like, oh, let me grab a Sharpie. And she's like, oh, no, don't sign it. Don't sign it. I was like, oh, okay. And she said, this was my son Tim's guitar. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And she was like, I seen you and your band play last fall opening up for 38 Special. And she said, I enjoyed the show, but I went home and I was so sad because my son used to be a musician and he died, from a fentanyl overdose. And she said, I got so sad thinking how his music, he doesn't get to do that anymore because he's not here with us. And she said she got to thinking about, what she could do. And she said, I realized I could give you Tim's guitar and his music could live on through you. And I'll tell you what, it was a really heavy moment. I mean, I started crying backstage. I was not ready for that. And it's the most beautiful emerald green guitar. And anyway, the guitar had not been played for a couple of years since, Tim had passed away. But my guitar player, he was backstage with me and he was like, hey, I think I got some more guitar strings. And so he restrung it, put some fresh strings on there. And we ended up playing that guitar at that show that night.
That's awesome.
It was really special. And we kind of decided right then and there that unless we're doing a show where we have to fly there, I don't want to bring that guitar on the plane. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to risk that. But we'll bring Tim's guitar with us to Farm to Bottle. And we'll, now whenever we play Lab Coat, we always pull out that guitar, and that is the Devil Wore a Lab Coat guitar. And it's a really special moment in the show. We've done it now, a handful of times, since we got the guitar. Every show that, we don't fly to, which we don't fly very much, but, it's really been a special thing, though. And, what's so wild to me, because I thought a lot about, Dawn, his mom, giving us that guitar. There's something so powerful about a mom's love. You know what I'm saying? For her to fast forward a couple of years down the road to give, honestly, a stranger, something that's so special, so your son's music can live on, so it can be played on stage. That's just like, but it also shows the power of music. It really shows the power of a song.
That song connected you in a way that you weren't a stranger to her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good way of putting it. I hadn't thought about it that way. But it just shows the power of music. It really does, Anyway,
Well,
but even that song, we still rock it out. It is a heavy subject matter, but whenever we were writing this song, I was like, guys, what can we do? Where I run every day. I ran 10 miles today. I ran 10 miles today this morning. I'm training for a marathon right now. But typically I run 5 a day. But I told the boys, I was like, how do we make this song something that we could run to? You know what I'm saying? Like something with energy. And so we rock it out. It's obviously a dark and heavy situation, but I want it to be a song that, whether it's folks up in Ohio or in Kentucky or wherever else, whether they have went through themselves this situation or they know someone who has, which that hits about just about everybody, such a widespread situation still is. I don't want people to want to be crying in a bucket while they're listening. I want them to feel empowered and feel seen, you know?
So, who were some of the artists you listened to growing up? Who was a big
Oh,
influence for you?
man, let me tell you, Sugar. So every Saturday morning, looking back now, I realized my mom was just trying to get me out of the house on Saturday mornings. But every Saturday morning, my daddy, he would take me in his green blazer and we would go to Wally World, to Walmart to get our groceries. And it took us about 30 minutes to get there, and then 30 minutes back. And the whole way there, we would listen. My dad loves classic rock, so we would crank up AC/DC, Steppenwolf, The Who, The Guess Who, Alice Cooper. And, I just, as a little kid, you look at your daddy like he was Superman. And I just thought, he was the coolest guy ever. I thought this music was awesome. And that was really where I first started falling in love with music. And I don't think the classic rock bug ever left me. I love classic rock. If I'm just listening to something to jam to, it's going to be classic rock. I love classic rock.
I know I discovered your music, man. It's probably been close to a year ago. It kept popping up on some of the social media sites, and I definitely got a good rock vibe from your music. And I could tell that some of that early Southern rock influences, yeah, you could definitely tell that was probably a part of your early listening. Yeah.
Thanks,
Well,
Sugar. I really love it. And something I love about, obviously the guitars, the drums, duh. But I feel like rock music, you just feel it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You feel it. And man, I'll tell you what, last year, it was about a year ago, I guess, I went and seen AC/DC for the first time ever live. And it was a holy experience for me. I got to tell you, it was so incredible. And I had the cheapest tickets at the stadium. I was in the nosebleed I was literally the top of the nosebleed. Okay. But it was still incredible. Now I do not recommend doing that. If you got the money, get a better seat. I learned my lesson, but it was incredible. And what was so wild was just song after song. Of course, I would guess I probably have heard just about every song they've released, at least once, but it was crazy. Song after song, first 2, 3 notes, everybody knew in the nosebleed section what the song was,
Mhm.
and that's because they have such iconic intros. Think about like Hell's Bells versus Back
Oh,
in
yeah.
Black versus TNT. Just like, it's incredible. Anyway, I digress.
So you might have a couple AC/DC albums, CDs, cassettes somewhere in your possession. I'm saying.
Oh, 100%. And I will tell you what, man, I had this hankering in my spirit to meet these guys. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I really would. I met someone who met them a couple months ago. And I know that sounds really like, okay, Mary, calm down. But I was so excited. I was riding with this guy who, he was a producer, and very long story short, he ended up getting supper with them. And I was just like, what were they like? And he was like, everything you think they're going to be. I don't know what that means exactly, but that's kind of cool. So anyway,
So let me ask you a dead serious question. Being a big AC/DC fan and taking it back to your days of your dad and stuff like that in the car, have you ever thought about covering a song, or do you cover an AC/DC song?
I have thought about covering AC/DC. Um, Now I'm trying to think. I want to say this is correct. The band does like a little medley, like the boys do in my band. And I'm thinking to myself, are we doing that at Farm to Bottle? But I want to say we are. I'm like 99.999% correct, where we do a little piece of AC/DC. But I would like, honestly, I would love to record a song by them. Like do wouldn't that be cool to do like a country version of something? I don't know. You have to keep it really cool though. You couldn't like country it up too much. You gotta keep it
I
what it
mean,
is.
I'll be
But I
honest.
have a song.
I could see you dead ripping ass on a set, a whole lot of Rosie.
That'd be dope. Honestly,
Uncle Joey, you read my mind.
well, see, this is the thing. You know, his texture of his voice is so specific. Like it's iconic.
Mhm.
It's absolutely incredible. And that's where, like, I'm a firm believer. If you really aren't adding something, you know, you got to make it your own, or it's just not going to be as, you know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't try to replicate what he is doing, obviously. You know,
I'll
even
give
if I
you-
tried to, it wouldn't sound like it, but it's got to be the right song.
So have you ever seen there's a band out there that redid that song Black Betty? They're called Spiderbait. They made
No,
that
I haven't, but I'll look it up.
they kicked ass. Yeah, look it up on the internet. They did a whole different version of that song and they killed it, man. They absolutely killed it.
Yo, I'm literally gonna look it up later. I can't wait to listen to it.
But you
Such a
need to
good song.
think about you would kill some AC/DC.
That is the biggest compliment you could have just given me. Mucho gracias, sir.
Just listening to your music, I guarantee you could go through their catalog and pick a couple songs that your band and you could probably nail.
That's a great idea. I love that. And thank you for your faith in me as well.
You know, make it happen.
On it.
All right. So what's after Farm? I mean, Farm to Bottle Festival seems to be kind of the end of your thing. What goes on after Farm to Bottle? Anything? Are you winding down or?
I think we're going to be playing more shows. I mean, I know we're going to be in Louisville, Kentucky, then Beaver Dam, Knoxville, Decatur, Georgia. And then, so just touring wise, we're going to keep the shows rolling. But we're going to start releasing some music. I want to say in September is our next release, but we haven't announced that yet. Y'all are the first to hear it. I can't say the date yet because it's not confirmed yet, but I want to say it's September, mid-September. But anyway, but we're gearing up. I was telling everyone we were basically done with the record, but my producers texted me today. We're going to cut a couple more songs, which that's great. That's great. That just means there's more songs to keep on. You know, it's like you have a big old turkey dinner, and it's like, you know what? We have the green beans, the mashed potatoes, the cranberry sauce. Do we have some extra stuffing? You know what I'm saying? And so that's what we're kind of doing right now, just adding a little bit more to it. But we're starting to release from the album very soon and kind of rolling into a full-length album. So I'm so excited. I've been, you know, writing every day and recording songs. And, you know, of course, you know, at Farm to Bottle, you know, you'll hear some of those songs that are not released yet, which is really cool. You know, because obviously I want to, you know, see what you think about them.
So
But
you're
it's
going to
going
be
to be really
doing
cool
that.
to have it live.
Are you going to do the same like the Clark County Fair? Any of the unreleased songs there as well?
We'll definitely do some of them. Yeah. And honestly, you know, man, I'm a firm believer in, you know, I want to know what people think about the songs that I write. I don't write songs for, you know, me to sing in my bedroom, you know, all emotionally and, you know, just by myself. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. But I really like to write songs thinking about the live show first. So I say all that. These songs that ain't out yet, man, I want to see it with my own eyeballs. You know, there's one thing, of course, you've seen this, you know, how a lot of the songs, you know, I'll post online little snippets, but I haven't done that on a handful of these songs, so I want to keep them. Are y'all going to join us for the after party? I would like to, Wesley. I know that we are driving up yonder. It's not on the website yet because the place we're playing at hasn't announced it yet. You know, there's that whole etiquette with that. But we're actually playing up in Massachusetts the next day. So I do know we will be leaving at some point to go to Massachusetts, but we might be able to hang out a while. Surely we can. You know, that's of course we'll have to ask the driver, you know, just to make sure we make it on time to Massachusetts. But you know,
if you get the driver over there, you might not make it, or you're going to need a backup driver.
ain't that the truth? Oh my gosh. You know, oh, we're done. You know.
Yeah.
It'll be crazy though. I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun. And you know, I'm just looking forward to seeing like all y'all in person. Because I feel like, you know, obviously I feel like, not to be overly sappy, but I do kind of feel like the whole moonshine community is kind of like a family. You know, that's just kind of the vibe I get. And you know, y'all love music, moonshine, and people. Hey, I'm in, you know, straight up. And just all the little hangs that I've been able to be part of. I know y'all do a whole bunch more, but the ones that I've been able to be a part of so far, just virtually, I'm like, these are good people. They're good people. And I'm just excited to come party with y'all.
Well, you think like where you're from in Kentucky, a lot of people sit around campfires and they pick a guitar because I mean that's
Yeah.
in some places down there that's all there really is to do.
And they pass the jar around that fire.
So like
the way
I
it
feel like
is.
you can't have one without the other. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That is really true. That's a really good point. And, I was talking with this was a while back, but you just put the nail on the head where it seems like in certain necks of the woods, especially places where, in history anyway, obviously, just about everywhere has like a Walmart or, dollar store or whatever. There are places now in most, communities, but it seems like the more rural the area, it seems like music really was a gathering spot. Someone just having a guitar or a banjo and, they have a little campfire like what you're saying with some moonshine. They just sit around and sing songs. And it is kind of interesting. It seems like that's probably where a lot of the roots of the music come from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mary, I think we've taken about enough of your time for this evening. You're a very busy woman. We appreciate you joining us.
I've got one more question if you don't mind.
There we go. We're not done yet.
Questions.
So what's your favorite guitar? Is it that Taylor back there I see?
Well, I would say yes. It's a beautiful one. It's not tuned up the way I can play it right now, though, right here. So what I do with the guitar, because you see these long nails, I do drop D tuning. I've seen years ago with Dolly Parton a little interview because her nails are about the same length as mine. She just has a square shape normally, but they're about the same length. But she does all bar chords. But over here, is it plugged in right now? Oh, it's not plugged in. Let me show you this guitar. I just got this guitar. PRS sent it to me, which you probably know guitars better than I do. If you noticed that guitar right there was a Taylor from that far away. Oh, here's an electric. I will bring this. Look at this pretty thing.
Yeah,
I just got this PRS just a couple weeks ago in the mail, but I will be bringing this puppy up to Farm to Bottle, and I'll play that. But I was playing earlier today, guys. It sounds real good. Some guitars, they just really sing nice. But every guitar, and Sean, do you play guitar?
A little bit, not much.
Yeah, you do. I can tell you do. But there is something kind of interesting to, I guess it's just like, like in Harry Potter with the wands, they're all different. The guitars, they all kind of sing a little bit different, like this one is such a rich sound. Now, this was my first guitar right here. I got it for Christmas one year when I was a little girl, and I was so excited, about it. It probably, maybe it's not that fancy of one, but it's real special to me. I'm trying to see where my Takamine is. It's somewhere hiding. But anyway, they all have a backstory with stuff. But thank you for noticing. That means a lot to me.
So I guess we're not done. We got more questions now that you. So what all do you play? You play keyboard? You play guitar?
I play guitar. Right here. Man, I don't think y'all can see it all, can you? Man, I thought my screen was like perfect, but it's not perfect. Let me pull this in a frame. So I got my guitars. Now, all through school, like I was telling y'all, I played the flute. Now, this thing used to be, and I was really intense with flute. I started playing when I was 12 years old. I mean, I can still play. I'll mess up my
So, wait a minute.
now.
So, being a classic rock fan, do you know Aqualung?
Oh, my gosh, yes.
So Jethro Tull?
Yes. It's so crazy. I had written a song earlier this year.
Uncle Joey showing his age.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm with Wes.
Jethro Tull.
I'm with Wes.
There's some great flute playing and some classic rock stuff, and I think it'd be really cool to put this puppy in a song. I haven't written the right song for it yet. I know that sounds super cheesy, but I wrote one song that I was hoping to do it, and I played the flute on it, but it just wasn't a good enough song. I'll be hard on myself. So nobody's ever heard it. But I really do want to rock out on stage with the flute. But there's the flute, and then let me put that up. Then I got over here my little ukulele.
Oh, hell yeah.
And of course, this is the whole nother realm. Of course, normally I'm rocking out. It doesn't really necessarily fit the vibe of what we're normally doing. But it is fun. And it's so weird to me whenever I pick this puppy up. It's so light in comparison to the guitars. And then
it looks like an size guitar.
And
I have
where is it at? No, it's
I
not
have one
picking
in
up.
I
I
have one in
also do
Martin.
play the fiddle a little bit, but I would not claim to be Charlie Daniels level at all. You know, but really through and through, I respect people who are true musicians. It's all relative. I consider myself to be more of a words person with music, writing lyrics and stuff, but I do play and it's fun.
So I guess we got more questions. Let's talk about your band for a hot second. How long has the band that you have right now? How long have you guys been together?
Not long enough. Because, you think about, man, really the majority of my time in Nashville, I was just writing for other people. I wasn't even performing. But I had been asked to open, if y'all haven't heard of this band, they're really great. You'll have to look them up later. It's called 1,000 Horses. They're a Southern rock band. They're great. They're so good. They had a song that was a hit that was called Smoke. Look it up later. Anyway, but that being said, they had asked me to open for them. I guess this was at the end of 24. And I remember, very long story short, my guitar player was a mutual friend of a friend of a friend. And it was a very last minute ask of, Mary, can you open for us? So I was calling, scrambling, trying to get, a band together. And his name was Miles. And so he started playing, he put a band together. And very long story short, this unit themselves has been about a year. But you would think, though, we've been playing together a lot longer, but I guess we played a bunch of shows together, but it feels like I've known them a lot longer, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're great guys though. And it's also really wild, y'all. So our stage manager, he helps, bring the guitars on the stage, the keyboards, all the things, make sure everything's flowing right. He's a musician as well. Y'all will hear him play a song at the show. He'll get up during the medley. And I don't know if Dave, our sound guy, will get up or not, but he's also a musician as well. So it's really interesting in Nashville, just like anything else, kind of like Dan earlier, wears a whole bunch of different hats, But yeah, there's a lot of talent going on. They're great guys too.
Hell yeah.
Y'all, I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun. And I can't wait to give y'all all hugs too.
That's definitely a great festival. I mean, farm to bottle, literally, you have everything from farm to bottle, and that's
it's such a genius concept, which, I guess that's props to, I guess it was Dan's brainchild, right? Is that right?
I don't know if I'd give Dan all that.
Yeah, limit compliments to Dan. He can only take so much. So he got enough earlier.
Don't blow that ego up anymore.
He's full for the day. Dan's full for the day. So
I can't wait. I'm really pumped. And I know we're going to get there early. So I want to, honestly, y'all, I'm not one of those artists that like to just sit in their car or whatever before the show. Yeah. I like to go around and walk around, say hi, see the different things, taste, test a little, the whole shebang.
Yeah, just come inside of the building. That's where everybody will be. That's where the air conditioning is going to be. So that's where all the moonshiners and all the taste testing. So yeah, bring the band in there and meet everybody, and that'll be a good time. And then you'll see all them lit up faces watching you later that night.
I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun. We're gonna have a heck of a time.
It's gonna be a good time for sure.
Absolutely.
Y'all have any other questions? I really like show and tell of the instruments. That was really fun. I wasn't expecting to get to talk about it tonight,
Hey, if you want to bang away on that keyboard, go right ahead.
Let me see.
Wes was requesting a flute, so
I know, right? Way to put me on the spot. Shall I close out our time with a song?
There you go.
Yes, please.
A little verse, chorus of something.
There you go.
Dealer's choice.
A little tasty taste of Right now, he's probably slow dancing with a bleach blonde tramp, and she's probably getting frisky. Right now, he's probably buying her some fruity little drink, cause she can't shoot whiskey. Right now, he's probably up behind her with a pool stick, showing her how to shoot a combo.
Right now.
Yeah.
I drove my key into the side of his big little suitcase. four-wheel drive, start my night, it's who is blessed. I told looked at both headlights. I smashed a hole and I four tires. Let me ask something, but oh yeah, a
That's
little
right.
taste, a little.
That was the first tier.
Mucho gracias. A little
Yeah.
sampling before farm to bottom.
That was the first tier.
Everybody come to Farm to Bottle, see Mary play the flute.
Yeah. Yeah, we appreciate y'all.
It's gonna be fun, y'all. Man,
I think you're going to cover AC/DC with the flute. Is what I
was
heard.
going to say.
that would
There
be
you go.
crazy. Well, you know they use the bagpipes, so that'd be kind of crazy.
There you go.
there you
You know, you might as well swap the bagpipes for the flute, and kick a little fiddle in there, and just let's get it. So,
That'd be putting your own twist in it.
that's right. Well,
Yeah.
anyways, we appreciate you so much for giving us your evening,
Absolutely.
Mary. And we all look forward to seeing you at Farm to Bottle, and y'all come on out. And if you want to go catch her in concert, man, y'all have to scroll back. You see the list. She's all over the country, quite a few places in this area. So, like I said,
And we'll
Go
be
check
at Clark
it out.
County Fair.
Yeah, Clark County Fair.
Yep.
Monday.
so we're
July
gonna make it out there.
27th.
It'll be
So-
fun, y'all. Well, I'll be giving y'all hugs soon, and y'all be good, all right?
All right.
Everybody have
thank
a
you.
great
All right.
night. We'll see y'all next week. Who we got next week, Uncle Joey? Is there next week?
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull her up. Next week, we have from the Champagne Shine Company, Mr. John Umstead. We're going to talk about his new book.
Did he just implode that still? Was that him?
That was his first one.
That was
Oh,
the very first
okay. I
one.
got you. Either way, he imploded that bad dude. So
Yep.
save those pictures, Sean. So, anyways,
You already know.
y'all have a great night. We'll see you next week. See you August 28th at
28,
Clinton County
29.
Fairgrounds. Man, we're going to have a great time. So, y'all take care. Y'all shine on.
Bye,
Thank